When I first got this knife, I guess I didn't realize how sharp it was out of the box. And so when closing it here, right, I made the mistake of pushing too much with my thumb on here, and this little bit of the blade right there kind of cut my thumb. Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hello and what is going on, guys? My name is Miguel. Welcome back to Miguel EDC, where we talk everything EDC here. And today we're going to be looking at this guy right here. Bam! The RUIKE. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. There's all kinds of different ways to pronounce this thing, I guess, based on how it's spelled. You want to pronounce it one way, but it's pronounced something different. But RUIKE, hopefully that's the way to say it. RUIKE P801. So that is the guy that we're going to be looking at today. All right off the bat, I want to just share with you guys, I've had this knife for quite some time now. This is actually one of my very first EDC knives on a budget. Once I tell you guys how much this guy is, you're gonna be very surprised. As a matter of fact, let's just address that right off the bat. This guy here comes around $28 to $30, guys. $28 to $30. Such a great budget EDC knife. One of my very first knives that I had after my Kershaw leak, after my Civivi Elementum. So this guy is running a 14C 28N steel here on the blade. We're gonna get into all the specs in just a moment. I was gonna do an unboxing on this guy in the channel, right, to show you guys my first impressions, but I was so excited to just open it and start using it that I forgot to record that video. But since I have been using it for a couple of months now, I believe it is time to go ahead and give you guys a comprehensive review on this little guy right here. So let's start with some basics here. Let's get a quick accurate measurement on this guy. Looking at the overall length here of just 8 inches altogether, total length. The actual blade is going to be around 3.5. The cutting edge is also going to be around 3.5 as well. The handle is going to be around, let's see, what do we have here, about 4.5 right there, right? 4 3/8. That's around the handle length right there for you. So I mentioned earlier, this guy is rocking a 14C 28N, and that is exactly the same steel that the Kershaw leak has, the 1660 version, the most basic version. So this guy's also rocking a 14C 28N steel. I want to bring this guy here in comparison too, because this RUIKE here reminds me a lot of the CJRB Pyrite, right? So these are my all steel knives that I have so far, right? So these guys are all steel. I like this exposed metal design, and as you can clearly see, right, they each kind of put their own spin on it right there. So I love my Pyrite. By the way, I'm currently EDCing this guy to go ahead and give you guys a review here very soon, so stay tuned for that. And the review on the leak has already been out for quite some time, so if you want to check that out, it is going to be in the channel. I'll probably put a link in the description or put a card up here somewhere. Let's do the other comparisons that we normally do on the channel. Here's the Paramilitary 2. That's going to be a little bit of a slightly bigger, longer knife right there, also wider. Right here is the smaller brother, the Para 3, and the Para 3 might be actually a little bit shorter than the RUIKE P801. So just a quick side-by-side comparison there to give you an idea. We have the Spider Coast Muck right here in the mix, so might as well throw this guy in there too, just to give you an idea as well. Probably around the same length, the Spider Coast Muck, just a tiny bit longer. All right, let's quickly check against the Demco AD 20.5 brothers right here. That is the clip point blade. Here is the shark's foot blade. Both of the Demcos are going to be slightly shorter, but just by maybe a quarter of an inch if anything. But you can see very comparable medium knives right there, medium to larger knives. With the Sencut brothers here, we got the Saxy and we got the Crawley, right? I want to say the blade shape on the RUIKE reminds me a lot of the blade shape here on the Crawley for sure. Looks pretty much the same. And lengthwise, I want to say it might be just as long as the Saxy right here, this top one. And the Crawley is, yeah, definitely a little bit longer in overall length right there. All right, last but not least, we can't forget about the Ontario brothers here. We got the Wrap Model 1 right there. This was going to be a much bigger knife. As you can see there, the RUIKE, not RUIKE, the Ontario Wrap Model 2, which is a smaller brother, is definitely going to be smaller than the RUIKE P801. Again, similar situation here. The blade shape, you know, this drop point, clip point blade shape definitely reminds me a lot of the yeah, the RUIKE model 1 and 2, right? Just like the RUIKE P801 right there. But you guys can see for yourself, right? Yeah, definitely this one a much bigger knife. Smaller brother, right? Definitely in a different category, but you guys be the judge of that. This is just to give you an idea right there. So let's check out the action of this guy once again. I want you guys to hear it. Hear the acoustics on this guy. The way that this guy fires, the sound of it, it is so nice. So this guy is clearly on ball bearings, right? That's what allows this nice, and let's see here, does it close? Yep, definitely close on its own there if you just let it drop. We got a flipper deployment right there. Of course, we have a thumb stud, right? Deployment right there, so there you go. And can you reverse flick this guy? You certainly can, right? If you just position your middle finger, right, the right way, right? Let's pretend I didn't say that. All right, here we go. I just did it a second ago. Now it's beating up my finger. Let me see. I guess you could, right? Yeah, definitely not good. I don't think it was intended to be reverse flick all that often. It's kind of a uncomfortable thumb stud, if you will, for your middle finger reverse flick right here. But yeah, definitely good for left-handed folks, right? Obviously my left-handed skills are not the best, but boom, there it is. All right, you certainly can reverse thumb deploy it. Just take my word for it. You should be able to. Clearly, I suck with my left hand. So this guy is a frame lock, as you can see, part of the frame. It's what's locking the blade in place right there. You move this piece out of the way, and you're able to shut it closed, right? Again, just to show you once again, once the blade opens, boom, there's this piece of the frame slides in place, and it keeps the blade, you know, locked in. All right, let's do a quick carry profile right here. This guy's gonna be very slim. Here it is compared to the Para 3, right? Definitely the Para 3 is gonna be a little bit wider right there. Same deal here with the Paramilitary 2 right there, as you can see. Guys, compared to the Demcos, regardless of blade shape, you can see very comparable right there. Next to the Sencut Crawley, right? Obviously the Crawley is going to be a lot thicker, as you can see. Next to the Saxy, right? Same deal here, right? Definitely on the thicker side. Next to the RUIKE Model 1, that's a thick boy right there, for sure. Much thicker. Compared to the RUIKE Model 2, right? The smaller brother. Still a little bit thicker, so needless to say, this guy is very slim, if you're not getting that idea by now. Last quick one here, next to the Pyrite. The Pyrite is gonna be a little bit thicker as well, right? All comes down to preference. And next to the Kershaw Leak, right? Very comparable. So once it is folded, right, what is the length and height in your pocket? What does that look like? Well, here's what that folded profile looks like next to the Spyderco brothers here. The Paramilitary 2, the Para 3, right? Definitely the Spydercos are going to be a little bit wider, right? In some cases, right, the Paramilitary 2 a little bit longer as well, right? The Para 3 a little bit shorter, right? But again, Spydercos with a Spidey hole definitely make that knife a lot wider to carry in your pocket. This guy's just so slim, right? As you can see, it is more so comparable to the Spyderco Smock right there. Check that out, right? The Spyderco Smock is going to be also very slim, right? Very nice and thin in the pocket, so definitely compares to this guy a lot more than the other two. Next to the Demco brothers here, 80-20.5 on both blade shapes. As you can see there, the blade definitely sticks out a lot more on the Demcos when they are folded, therefore making it a little bit of a wider knife right there to carry. As far as the length, pretty much on par right there, right? Very similar length between these guys. Next to the Sencut brothers here, the Crawley and the Saxy. All right, for consistency, I put the Saxy on top, Crawley on the bottom there, and there you have it, guys. Very comparable to the Crawley, right? Because it is just as wide. Definitely the Saxy, because of this blade shape, it's gonna be a little bit wider, right? But as far as the length goes, very comparable on all three of these. Next to the RUIKE Model 1 and RUIKE Model 2, definitely the RUIKE Model 1 is gonna be in a category of its own. The RUIKE is somewhere in the middle, and the RUIKE Model 2 is much smaller, right? I want to say it compares a lot more to the RUIKE Model 2 in you know, how wide it is. The RUIKE Model 1 is just way wider of a knife. And of course, since we keep comparing them to these two, right, there is the Kershaw Leak and the CJRB Pyrite, right? So very similar in length, these three guys right here, very similar, and also very slim, right? So if you like the aesthetics of, you know, the old chrome or exposed stainless steel metal, right, these are going to be the way to go. And yeah, also very comparable on width. on all three of these. So let's now go ahead and do a quick hardware check, guys, like we do in every review video. By the way, my tools are linked in the description. They are part of the Strobito tool set here. Has every drill bit that you can probably imagine needed to take apart your knives or everything else that you may need to kind of disassemble, put back together in your home. Those links come to you at no extra cost. If you want to check them out, they will be in the description. They'd certainly help out the channel a lot. So let's go ahead and see on this guy. I want to say probably a T6. Probably going to be a T6 right here on these frame screws. Yep, that is a T6 right there on these guys. And I want to say the pivot screw is probably going to be a T8. All right, let's see if that is the case. There it is, guys, T8 on the pivot. All right, also you have basically the same, you have a screw head on both ends on this guy, so that's also something to keep in mind. As for the pocket clip right here, right, these guys are going to be T6 as well. So pretty much everything on the knife is going to be T6, which, you know, I wish it was T8. The only thing that's going to be T8 is going to be this pivot screw right there. Now, speaking of the pocket clip, this guy has a very nice deep pocket carry, as you can see right there. My only caveat here, only gripe will be if the screws were recessed. They're definitely not recessed, you know, so there's that. I mean, if that doesn't get in your nerves, then you should be fine. But yeah, I feel like that's a missed opportunity right there. Those screws could be recessed. That would have made the pocket clip work a little bit better, but I mean, still gets the job done. And it's not a super long one either. It's just long enough where it gets the job done. And I also like that it's this kind of anodized blue accent right here. Same thing you have going on sort of in the pivot screw there. Same thing with the thumb studs, and it just kind of makes the knife stand out right there, right, with those blue accents over you know, the stainless steel otherwise aesthetics to it. Since we're here, let's do a quick blade stock thickness on this guy. I want to say on the thickest part, this guy is going to be 0.11 inches. All right, let me make sure. Yeah, thickest part 0.11 inches, whereas in the very tip, this guy is probably going to come down to 0.01. So a very, very pointy end right there for sure. And not bad on the actual thickest part right there, just about average, very decent. Is there any play on this guy whatsoever? No, this thing is rock solid, you guys, rock solid. There's no movement here of any kind whatsoever. You do have some jimping going on right here at the top that makes it very nice and comfortable. It's perfect positioning right there for where your thumb would be when you're making any type of utility cuts or what have you, right? Perfect positioning. You kind of have this, as far as the ergos go, right, you have this nice indentation right here for your index finger. It kind of helps with, you know, gripping the knife a little bit better. I want to say, because you are getting this stainless steel, you know, plain scales on this guy or frame, right, there's no design or pattern or anything like that on this guy to grip onto. So if you're not, you know, if you're wearing gloves or if you have like butterfingers like me, you want to be very careful. You might drop this guy a little bit more often than you may drop any other knife. Feel like as far as the ergos go, that's what this here is all about. For the index finger, that groove indentation there. Also the flipper portion of the knife also kind of acts as a index finger stopper, right? So you don't go into the blade too much. I have average hands, average size hands, not too small, not too big. And I want to say, right, all four fingers are able to grip right there at the handle, and there's still plenty of, you know, just a little bit of enough knife left on the other end. Feels nice and comfortable. I want to say the pocket clip doesn't make it uncomfortable in any way. You kind of forget it's there, to be honest, right? You can make your forward cuts. I want to say your reverse cuts. Yeah, those are going to be very comfortable as well. Let's get a quick weight on this guy to see what we're dealing with here. So for comparison, we're going to quickly get the weight on the Pyrite. Pyrite is very comparable because of the fact that it's, you know, all metal design, right? Handles, blade, everything. Coming in at 3.6 ounces, right? That is the CJRB Pyrite. Let's check out the Leek, right? The Leek, also all metal, going to coming in at 3.3 ounces. And last but not least, the RUIKE P801. This guy is going to come in at, heavier than the other guys, come in at 4.1 ounces, right? Let's try that again, make sure it's accurate. There it is, guys, 4.1 ounces. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit heavier than your, you know, G10 handles, micarta handle knives or EDCs or what have you. But again, I feel like, you know, there's just enough weight to it where it just kind of feels solid, feels quality. Again, for guys around the $30 ballpark. Let's not forget that part, about $30 ballpark. So you really can't ask for much more than that. So what's it been carrying this guy? I want to tell you, I mean, this has been an awesome experience carrying this guy over the last few months. This guy has been a very rock solid EDC, to say the least. And I want to say it didn't break the bank at all. I mean, what more can you ask for? Around $30. I keep saying that is because if you're trying to get EDC, if you're trying to get in the hobby, you're not trying to break the bank, this is a great starting point. This might be the budget king. I know there are a few of those in the channel that I've already done reviews, but I mean, if you're looking for this all exposed metal stainless steel, if 14C 28N steel does it for you, I mean, this guy is a great starting point if you're looking to get into the knife hobby or to the EDC lifestyle. I want to say this guy has been through so many cardboard boxes. We have done so many campfires out in the backyard, and this guy has gone through TV boxes and diaper boxes and every box that pretty much makes a home. This guy just cuts right through it, slices them. It's still retaining an awesome edge. We're gonna be doing the paper cutting test here in just a moment. You'll see what I mean. But I mean, it's been an awesome EDC. So I did mention earlier this liner lock. This is one of the knives, very few knives, that has kind of cut me, and that's a kind of interesting story to share, because when I first got this knife, I guess I didn't realize how sharp it was out of the box. And so when closing it here, right, I made the mistake of pushing too much with my thumb on here, and this little bit of the blade right there kind of cut my thumb just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it just goes to tell you how sharp this guy is. And you know, just be careful, obviously, just like you would with any other EDC knife. But yeah, this guy has a very interesting story because of that, at least in my own experience. So it does have a lanyard hole right here in the back. It's nice and wide. It goes from one end to the other. So if you're into lanyard holes, right, lanyard attachments, that's gonna work great for you. Is there any milling going on this guy? You're probably wondering, guys. There is no milling whatsoever, and that's just what makes this guy feel so solid, I believe, in my opinion. There's no milling. That's why it kind of gives you that good high quality weight to it. If you're looking for the lightest knife out there, this might not be the one. But if you're looking for a good substantial weight to where you feel the quality, like, hey, I got something solid in my hand, I mean, this guy is definitely going to do that, scratch that itch for you. As far as the spacers, look at the spacers. Got some very nice spacers right there. Those are going to look really good. No questions asked. I've been EDCing this guy like crazy for the last couple of months, and look at that blade, guys. That is smack in the middle. There's no question about that guy. Look at that, right? Smack in the middle right there. It hasn't leaned one way or the other. And like I mentioned earlier, there's absolutely no play, right? Haven't had to adjust it or tighten it or lose it or nothing, right? The action is great the way it comes, and yeah, there's absolutely zero play. This is a 10 out of 10 as far as how solid that blade is in place. So obviously very solid locking, frame lock, right? It should not fail under any circumstances. I mean, for frame lock standards anyways, right? Before you guys come at me in the comments, you know, with the Sharks lock and the Tryout lock and all that. Yeah, this guy is going to get the job done for what it is, a frame lock. Going back to the steel for a second, this guy's going to be a 14C 28N steel. So it's going to be a very nice steel right there for the budget category. You really can't ask for much. This blade is going to be a stonewash blade. Got some nice tumble to it, right? By the way, this is the blade you want to get if you're going to be concerned about your blade getting any scratches or anything like that. Definitely the stonewash look to it is going to kind of hide away any lines or marks or streaks into your blade. As far as billboarding on the blade, I believe the logo right here on this one side it's all right. On this other side, I mean, you kind of have a lot going on right there. You got the model, which is fine, the steel, but I mean, it's really necessary to have this here, the WB5EKQ06020, like that is not necessary. So you know, just a little FYI there. But you know, if that doesn't get in your nerves, you're totally fine with that, then you should be all right. That stonewash, by the way, carries all the way through the handle as well, right? So the frame is going to be also stonewash, which just makes the whole knife look very nice. It's not going to look beat up or anything like that. There is a black version of this guy too, by the way, so that's also an option if you're not into the old stainless steel aesthetics of this guy. You got some options out there as well. So let's go ahead and do the paper test on this guy. Let's see what I've been talking about all along. Let's see how well this guy has retained an edge. All right, here we go. Without further ado, you guys be the judge of this, right? Let me know in the comments. Rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, right? 10 being the sharpest. Here we go. Oh, look at that first cut. All right, make sure there's no user error. Boom, look at that second cut. Boom, nice cut right there. Right, nice cut also, right? Look at those two cuts. All right, kind of a little bit of a tear on that one right there. Yeah. Boom. Boom. All right, needless to say, this guy has retained an edge like it's nobody's business. Even after all the use EDC in this guy for a while, right, you guys can clearly see it still has an edge. Could it be retouched? Of course, right? Every knife could always use a nice edge retouch at any point, but I mean, out of the box, it has definitely retained an awesome edge, you know, even after all this use. So in conclusion, guys, I gotta tell you, I'm trying not to be biased here, but I could not be happier with this knife. This knife has checked so many boxes for me. It is one of my favorite EDCs, is definitely up there. And for the price, I really wish there were more knives like this guy. Really wish there were a lot more knives at this price range, again around the $30 ballpark. Check the links in the description. Those are affiliate links and they help out the channel. No extra cost to you, but for that price, you really can't get any better than this. I mean, you guys let me know. We can kind of start a conversation in the comments into what other knife variant will be better than this guy for this price point. But I gotta tell you, for as much work this guy has done for me, all the cardboard boxes this guy has cut through over the last months, and still holding an awesome edge, and it's still looking amazing as if it was still brand new out of the box. This is a very, very solid EDC. In your case, I mean, you got nothing to lose if you're considering this guy, possibly buying it, testing it. You got nothing to lose if you just want to order it and then test it out. You can always return it if you end up not liking it. But I feel like you guys are definitely not going to be disappointed at all. This is a solid knife. I'm super happy that I have one. It has not disappointed me in any way, and it still retains a heck of an edge. So I'm just so glad that they have an awesome knife, solid knife like this one at this price point. Well, there you have it, guys. Let me know in the comments anything that I perhaps missed on the review. Hopefully I have been able to empower you with some valuable information in regards to making your purchase, or even if you're considering buying this guy or getting this guy for a friend. That's also another great thing I feel this guy will do. If you're trying to get a knife for a non-knife friend, trying to get him into the hobby, come on, this is a perfect knife right here, right? I always say the Civivi Elementum, but if you don't have Civivi Elementum budget, get this guy, right? Definitely save yourself about 20 bucks or so, and still gonna get the job done. Get that friend, brother, you know, significant other, what have you, into the hobby. They're gonna love it. This guy is gonna cut for, you know, a long time, and they're gonna be super happy with it, to say the least. So hope you guys have enjoyed the review. Again, if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Any questions you may have, just ask away. I'll be hanging out in the comments to answer all of your questions. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support in the channel. By the way, by the time you're seeing this video, it is very possible that the review on the Pyrite is going to be available. It's a very fidgety EDC as well, which I'm also very excited to review because it's been awesome. So that card will be right here for you guys to check it out. That is the CJRB Pyrite. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.